If you don't love this big, beautiful piece of paper right here into getting all these teams, you're just not a red-blooded American male. I don't know what to tell you. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football back at it again. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be updated on all things college football, hit that red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also hit the like button too, and follow me on Twitter/X. That fame is growing. And if you like EA college football content, go subscribe to my other channel in my description here. It's called the MF Film Room. But enough about all that. We got some college football content. Let's go. All right, guys. I know that we've been talking about FBS National Championship, and I think this is going to be an awesome FBS National Championship. But one thing that is not talked about as much as it should be is, I'm telling you, where the CFP got its inspiration from, how much interest there was in this league, and so on. None other than the FCS ranks and the 24 team playoffs. Screw 12 teams, 24. If you don't love this big, beautiful piece of paper right here into getting all these teams, you're just not a red-blooded American male. I don't know what to tell you about those. I'm female. Also, I know there's some female listeners out there. Look at this bad boy here. 24 teams, 8 teams get a first-round bye, all the way leading up to the national championship in Frisco, Texas this year between your two contestants, the reigning, defending FCS national champions, the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, and the upstart Montana Grizzlies. When you look at these teams, and again, you're going to see that when I go through the breakdowns of a couple of these teams here, is the fact that they are not necessarily completely different, but they have different vibes to them. South Dakota State is coming off of their previous national championship. They are one of the most dominant teams in college football. I'm going to go through their schedule here because it is very apparent to see that. And then Montana kind of got their, had to go through a couple lumps early on, but have really found their footing late in the season. They are coming on strong. Again, they've been in playoff mode since, for about a month now. And heading into this game, it looks like they're going to try and keep that going. So first here we have the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. And like I said before, they are the juggernaut of all juggernauts in the FCS ranks. At this point, they are 14-0, and they have 12 double-digit victories. And again, they had one up here early in the season that we will talk about, and another one here, a road game at Southern Illinois. But aside from that, their playoffs have been 41-0, 23-12, a little bit of issues there, and then the semifinals game is 59-0. Let's just make sure we're clear about this. They are as dominant as you can be heading into a national championship game, and they look very, very difficult to beat. Now, for all of those you out there that you're looking for the underdog in these situations, I will let you know my family, plenty of my family still lives in Montana. I actually have a Red Lodge, Montana shirt here on, but they are rooting hard for your Montana Grizzlies. And if you look at this here, man, other than early on in the season, my boy Sam Vidlac was a former player at Boise State. He transferred out to Montana. He ultimately was benched after this game against Northern Arizona. And then your boy McDowell comes in here at quarterback, and he does fantastic, ripping off all these victories in a row, 10 victories in a row, including an absolute shellacking of the rivals in the Brawl of the Wild, 37-7 over Montana State. And you look at this here, man. Check this out. Friday, December 8th, like I said, they've been in playoff mode for a month now. So Delaware was a playoff game. Furman at Montana in Missoula, 35-28 overtime win there. And then one of the craziest endings to the fourth quarter and overtime of the North Dakota State Montana game in 2023 was one of the coolest games you've ever seen around there. First of all, Junior Bergen, who we're going to highlight here in a second, punt return for a touchdown for the lead. Ultimately, North Dakota State ties it up. They go to overtime, and then a 2-point conversion in overtime in order to give them an 8-point lead. They ultimately hold on because North Dakota State could not convert their 2-point conversion. Again, go watch it. It's a crazy highlight. It is absolutely amazing to see that. Now, highlighting some of these important players for these teams, I want to make sure, I'm going to go through two different scenarios here. I'm going to go through the top players, I believe, on these teams, and then I'm going to go through, I think, the most important players for this game. The first one here is your boy Junior Bergen, because Montana has not been as explosive as an offense as, say, South Dakota State has, but they've been getting a lot of help from your boy Junior Bergen over here. So for him, 55 catches, 766 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Those are solid numbers, but you come down here and you see the returns, 27 punt returns, 423 yards, and 2 touchdowns, in addition to 13 kickoff returns, 374 yards, and 1 touchdown, 3 non-offensive touchdowns for him. Again, I'm not saying your boy's Devin Hester, but he ain't chopped liver. Your boy can play. And when you come over to the South Dakota State side, it is very, very apparent how they win and who they win with. It's your boy Isaiah Davis. The last 2 years, so 2022 national championship run, he had 1450 rushing, 5.8 yards per carry, and 15 touchdowns. This year, a couple more yards rushing, but a full yard improvement in average per carry, 17 rushing touchdowns, another 196 through the air, and a touchdown here. He is an absolute beast, and you see it in the stats here. So checking out the leaders in the FCS ranks, obviously, so Albany came in with that vaunted passing attack, went against South Dakota State and ran off the 59-0 in a semifinal game. That is ridiculous here. You can see the leader in FCS rushing right now is your boy Isaiah Davis, absolute beast down there. You come down here to scoring offense, and the South Dakota State Jackrabbits are third in the country. Now, scoring defense, they're number one. I mean, they're 9.7 yards or points per game. That's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm telling you, Montana's not chopped liver down here. Number 5 scoring defense in the country at 16.79 points per game. Again, not 9.71, but nothing to, throw your hands up at. So coming over here and checking this out, you can kind of see the fact that the betting odds on this kind of show the fact that South Dakota State is the heavy favorite in this game. Montana, again, had a little bit of trouble early, not a lot of trouble, but a little bit, adjusted themselves and put themselves into a spot where they've won 10 games in a row, 2 overtime games in a row. Like I said, they're in championship mode at this point. South Dakota State, they've been in championship mode. They've already caught a national championship last year, won every game up until then, 12 of them by double-digit points. They are doing just fine. As of right now, they are a 13.5-point favorite. In addition to the over-under is going to be 49.5. So I think they're thinking the game's going to be, 31-17, something like that is what you're looking at. Now remember, I went over the highlight of the big-time players, Isaiah Davis, I like Junior Bergen. I love those players. But I think that the most important players in these games are going to come down to 1 offensive player for Montana and 2 defensive players for South Dakota State. The first one here, Clifton McDowell, he comes in. If you come down here and you check out his stats, so they lost the game at Northern Arizona, a very weird loss for them, not necessarily a great team, and then he ultimately gets the start. You see the fact that boom, 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 10 straight victories, can run, can throw, doesn't throw a lot of picks. On the season, he's got 13 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Like I said, in the semifinals game, or the quarterfinals game against Furman, he had 118 yards rushing. Your boy is a dual threat, makes good decisions, doesn't turn the ball over. He's solid because I think in this game, quarterback turnovers from the Griz side is the only opportunity they have to stay in this game because South Dakota State's got some studs on the other side that are looking to do that. So for the quarterback is going to be the most important part for the Montana offense. Across the field, linebacker and safety, we're going to highlight both of those positions because the first one here is Isaiah Stallbird. Like I said before, if Clinton McDowell can prevent turnovers, Montana has a chance. If not, he's got to watch out for your boy, Isaiah Stallbird. First of all, 2 awesome names of these players I'm going to highlight here for the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. The first one here, Isaiah Stallbird, you can see his stats, the fact that he had 1.5 sacks on the season, 3 forced fumbles, in addition to 1 interception. He is a turnover machine himself. And the next guy, I'm not kidding when I show you this. This is his actual name. You will never find a cooler name than your boy, Tucker Large. Safety, like I said, linebacker and safety down the field for Clifton McDowell. For Tucker Large, 8 passes defended, 4 interceptions. And again, I'm serious. This right here is on ESPN. And again, I want to make sure you can see the fact that this is really what his name is. Isaiah Stallbird and Tucker Large. Those are serious people. Those are serious names. Linebacker, safety. Again, if they can force Clifton McDowell into turnovers, I think they might run away with this. They are 13.5-point favorites at this point. That being said, though, that South Dakota State has a common opponent where one of these teams struggled with Montana State and the other one didn't. So coming over here and checking this game out. Now, granted, this game was early in the season. South Dakota State hosted Montana State. This is a top flight game. This is your equivalent of Texas visiting Alabama in the FCS ranks. So with that happening here, you can see the fact that up until 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, Montana State had the lead at South Dakota State's house. A touchdown with 1:30 left to take the lead. They ultimately went on to win that game. They won by 4. Good victory. It's a tight one. This was one of those, like I said, 12 of the 14 games were by double digits. This was won by single digits. How did Montana do against Montana State? Oh, it wasn't a brawl of the wild. It was the brutality of the wild. Montana absolutely beat the hell out of Montana State this year, other than after halftime, going in there and making adjustments, a 2-minute and 1-second drive. Other than that, they outscored them 37-0. And I'm telling you right now, it was not that close. So whatever happened in these games, South Dakota State struggled with Montana State. Montana did not. But Can Montana utilize that? Can they play defense? Can they, can Clifton McDowell make all the right decisions? Can Junior Bergen give them some help through the special teams? If they can do that, 13.5 might not be a good line for them. So for those of you who don't think the FCS National Championships is awesome, basically just is a fancy way of saying you haven't watched any of them. The National Championship this year, the powerhouse South Dakota State Jackrabbits versus the upstart Montana Grizzlies. Montana, like I said before, they've got an opportunity in this game. They are currently 13.5-point underdogs. If Clifton McDowell, their quarterback, starter after the Northern Arizona loss, can continue the success he's had, 2 consecutive overtime wins, 10 consecutive victories. Also, they beat the hell out of Montana State, whereas South Dakota State, although 14-0, kind of struggle with Montana State a little bit there. If they can do that, this game will be interesting. My final prediction, though, man, I think I will take Montana plus 13.5, but I'll probably take South Dakota State to win the game. All right, guys, get in the comments right now. Let me know what you think about all this. I'm telling you, check the game out. It is on Sunday before those, don't worry about it. First of all, the Niners and the Rams, they're not even playing starters at this point. You don't even know what's going to happen. We all know we're going to be watching that Bills-Dolphins game on Sunday night. But during the day, check out the FCS National Championship for the South Dakota State Jackrabbits versus the Montana Grizzlies. That'll be it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.